What is going on, everybody? Nasdorachi coming back at you again today with another video for Dragon Ball Legends. I'm sure many of you avid players of the game already tuned in to the official announcement video for the second anniversary, as well Goresh, Riku, D-Free, myself, Ryuden, a whole bunch of other people live streamed our reaction to that, so that link will probably be in the comments or in the description somewhere if you did not already catch our little reaction. But I figured now that all the hype that we know of so far is out there in the community, I can go over pretty much everything we saw in the video. We'll just kind of jump through it and cover and analyze everything. Since again, most of the creators, most people out there have already seen the hype, I think it's a great time to talk about stuff a little bit. So that'll be the modus operandi for today's video. Let us jump in and start watching the video. But again, because I am not whitelisted by Bandai, or Dimps in this case, I will not be playing it in full screen and will kind of be jumping through it again in a more analytical sense. So let's go ahead and start this process up, jump through and analyze everything. I do have the volume quite low, do not want copyright claims. Of course, it started out with the countdown here showing all the characters that we kind of grown to love so far with Shallot, Dragon Ball Z stuff mostly. But it jumps into then Toshi seemingly recording from inside of like a hotel bathroom because his audio is extremely echoey and big roomy. So he starts off talking about just the game leading up to this point, a couple of sentimental statements, and the first piece of information we get, of course, is free daily consecutive summons. This is something that they've done before. I do believe the previous anniversary had something pretty much identical to this, and they've only now updated it to include more powerful characters. So we can hop into full screen for a second here just to check this out, and I'll kind of lean out of the way, I guess, this way. You'll see on the banner featured will be Super Saiyan 4, Goku, of course, Rose, the movie's Gohan that transforms, Frieza, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, the Super Saiyan Blue units from last year's anniversary, both of them, Goku and Vegeta, the newer of the two, God Qs, the Gogeta from the DBS movie, the transforming Vegeta to go along with the Goku. And that's about it in terms of what we know for the featured units on this Acquire Powerful New Characters banner. So, wait, new? These are not new. These are older characters. What are you talking about? There'll also be some login bonuses here. Of course, they'll be giving away crystals, tickets, bells, some other stuff too. They said they'll have some events to go along with it as we kind of go through all of this rehash, the older, less juicy content in the beginning. But there will be plenty of free resources and, of course, boosted experience. Like, I guess you get more. The training times will be cut in half. All types of events to coincide with that. Recurring events here, of course. They're bringing back all three of the previous Red Unit Rising battles that we've had so far. And mostly stuff for newer players. Older players won't be able to take too much advantage of this, but I think they do realize that a lot of more, recent players haven't really completed some of that stuff that hasn't been back reliably. Next up, of course, we'll be getting Legends Road Youth Trunks overhauled, very similar to the Legends Road Kid Goku. They said that they have taken in feedback and data from how everyone grinded the Goku event, and they've adjusted this one accordingly. Also understanding there's going to be a lot going on for Anniversary, so they've made adjustments so that it should be hopefully a little easier to finish this grind. Like, you get maybe more Z power per run, or there'll be more boost units that have more of an actual effect. So he will, of course, be Zenkaiing as well. This makes the Legends Road team one step closer to being extremely dangerous because you can then combine him with the Kid Goku and they'll have some dual Zenkai synergy going back and forth between them because there's no color restrictions for Legends Road Zenkais. It's only tags. And in addition to that, he'll be a relevant blue unit for future. Of all the 5 units that we're about to go over, none of them are future and blue unless Vegito Blue turns out to be blue. They did not give us that information. So future still needing a blue unit pretty badly. And of course, this Kid Trunks will fill in quite nicely in the meantime. If not, he'll fully fill out the slot and you won't really need anybody else. But we'll have to check out Z abilities, synergy, stuff like that. He is future, so it will work out. But enough about Trunks. We can go through this very briefly, but the Super Scout battle's coming back. We've seen that plenty of times. It's not anything new. Of the EX characters shown here, the top row ones are mostly useless. They're very dated. If they're not getting any type of update, you generally won't use them too much. I'd say the Trunks is probably the best out of all of them because of his anti-regeneration properties. Of the bottom row, pretty much all of these EX units are decent, usable, and somewhat relevant. Of course, Shisami and Zamasu are quite nice. Whis, of course, is quite nice, but kind of takes a backseat to Rose on the God Key team. And then, of course, Beerus, probably the least useful out of the ones on the bottom. Mai is extremely useful for specialty challenges, like, because she can do crazy stuff with her green card in her main to boost damage and to lower swap times. You can then combine her with Super Saiyan 1 Bardock to double up on the Super Saiyan 1 buff. So when there's challenges like the ones like do 50 million damage with Rising Rush and stuff, she is actually a very, very useful character to have. But again, mostly for challenges. You don't use her in PvP battles too often. So nothing too crazy there. We can kind of skip past that. There'll also be a new challenge rush coming for the 2nd anniversary, because we don't really need closed captions. New challenge rush is coming, 6 high difficulty stages. Of course, we're quite familiar with Challenge Rush at this point. There was, I believe, one for the 1st anniversary as well. Ones for Goku and Bardock and 5 other just randomly thematic ones that we've seen in the past. So that'll probably be nothing too crazy or out of the ordinary, but some more content for us to cover for sure and to help do some clears on those. Of course, we're having the Clash, bonds transcending space and time, cooperate with the entire world to defeat the boss. So this is going to be Legends' first attempt at a full-blown raid boss. What I'm assuming is it's going to be like traditional co-op, but the boss is going to have like an absurd amount of health, like a billion or multiple billion, hundreds of million, and every single player is going to cooperate to help deal some type of damage and help bring that health total down. Whether or not we'll actually be able to defeat it and get special rewards, I'm definitely sure that we will. But again, Legends' first attempt at a raid boss could be very interesting and a decent way to mix up co-op and make it not feel so samey. I did mention this earlier. We're having the character power-up campaign, training time halved, more EXP, more Zenny gained. We've seen that for celebrations before, so good that they're just going to keep that going. This is pretty interesting. Shenron is coming back, so we're going to have the augmented reality Shenron QR code thing going on again. It's going to be a nightmare for social media. Everyone spamming QR codes all over the place, especially in the Facebook group. It was terrible last year, but still really cool that it's coming back. You can get the Dragon Balls by trading codes with friends, and then you get to summon Shenron on your little AR camera, do funny things with him, like summon him out of the toilet or out of your fingertip or maybe out of the tip of something else we won't talk about. But regardless, the Shenron is back. We'll have to check out what the wishes will be. I think my best video of all time on my YouTube channel is showing the wishes for last year's set of Dragon Ball summons. Hopefully, I'll be able to use my Master Roshi adult magazine one of these days, but it very well likely may have just been a troll item with a title. So we'll have to see what they offer this year. I'm sure there'll be one for Chrono Crystals, a wish, ones for resources like tickets, like skip and energy, stuff like that. Maybe some sparking metals and different multi-Z powers. They'll probably have a wish like that this year. I could well see that. And then maybe another like novelty troll wish like that Master Roshi one. So we'll definitely have to check that out. I don't anticipate it being too different in format from how it was last year in terms of how you collect them and then the summoning itself. It's mainly just the wishes we'll have to keep our eyes on and see exactly how relevant they are and what all we can get from them. Next up, we have Test Your Luck Anniversary Chance Time. Now, I didn't really understand this. It seemed to just be like tickets like the ones that you get from doing missions, like the Kefla guaranteed tickets we had for that step up, and how they have the white bordered ones, which aren't guaranteed ones. It's very, very similar to that. So I'm not really seeing too much of a difference here as to why it's called Chance Time or something like that. But this right here is pretty impressive. 10,000 Chrono Crystals. I have to wonder if this is for individual players or if this is like, you know, I mean, it has to be, because 10,000 Chrono Crystals for any type of community is next to nothing. But for each individual player up to 10,000 crystals, that's going to be somewhat shocking, because that's hundreds of dollars worth of Chrono, literally hundreds of dollars worth of Chrono Crystals right there. And to give that away for free, there's going to have to be some type of catch or some type of caveats to that. We'll definitely be keeping up with that. But yeah, the chance time, it seems like you can get some tickets. Whether or not you can make summons for them, he seems to allude there'll be some type of banner or ways to use them for summoning, or redeeming them for just different high-value items in likely like an exchange shop or something like that. Again, it's something we're going to have to keep our eyes on. They don't go too in-depth talking about it here. Again, I don't want to capture too much of Toshi's audio just because they might copyright claim me. We're going to have trade, so you can acquire second anniversary medals. That's what that was, and there'll be an exchange shop. So maybe there won't be an exchange shop for those Legends Chance tickets. Maybe it'll just be for these medals right here. But I will definitely be scooping up these Shenron arts cards. He also talks about how there'll be various other rewards. I'm assuming they're going to be pretty good. Again, this is the second anniversary. Most things circulating around this, well, they want it to be hype. They want to pull in as many players as possible. So hopefully, other than those arts card sleeves, which again, I'll definitely be snagging those. They look super clean. I will hope there'll be plenty of other things in that exchange shop to look forward to. Of course, we will go over that and assess the value once we know. Additional missions for 1,000 Chrono Crystals. So if you then combine the 1,000 from the Challenge Rush, this 1,000 right here, login bonuses, so we don't know how much we're getting there, and then that 10,000 number, we're looking at a minimum of like 12,000 Chrono Crystals. But again, there has to be some type of catch or caveat to that. That's really hard to imagine. Right now, they're talking about some cool stuff that they'll be doing to support the game outside of the game. Special background designs and music. Check out the official website. I think that this is going to just be like the stage arts, like you can see, rewinding here for a second. You can see the stage art from the Nasdorachi stage, maybe like Kame House wallpaper for your PC or something, which I kind of make those already, so neat, but, you know, not super interesting. Different phone wallpapers, potentially, which could also be neat, but I do also make those too, so we'll have to see what they throw out, see how neat it is. The music could be pretty interesting, though. If they have some pretty catchy tunes, if they come out with some pretty nice, you know, themes for some bosses and heroes, this could be kind of neat for a way to kind of, I don't know, listen to the OST, just get some extra value of all the stuff they've added to the game. So, all fairly neat. This next thing here, the ARR Camera, who's your favorite character? Another outside of the game kind of effect. Legends original AR camera effects, kind of like Snapchat, but like Legends version of Snapchat, it seems like, which is interesting. Again, is helpful for people that like to do cutesy little stuff that aren't graphic designers, but I can pretty much do all that stuff on my own already. So still neat for the general player base, but maybe not the coolest feature of the anniversary. Next up, they're going to be doing a social media campaign, Lend Us Your Power, 10,000 posts in an hour. They really want to push Legends out, and they figured, why not reward us for doing the dirty work for them, I guess, which makes sense. Here it breaks down the rules. They're going to tweet out or post on Facebook, I would assume, official words or hashtags that will identify the post with Dragon Ball Legends in this campaign. And they're trying to reach 10,000 posts in an hour with both blue and red teams. So there'll be some type of competition set up here. I'm sure special rewards going to the winning and losing parties. But just to quickly look at this again here, we'll have the blue team, which is Twitter English and Facebook English, versus red team, which is Twitter Japanese, Facebook Chinese, and Navar Cafe Korean. So it seems like it's basically like global versus Asia in terms of this competition right here. We've seen Dokkan do some stuff like this before. It's a good way to get the community kind of riled up, and probably won't help fester any more, you know, good professional emotions between the two different groups, because the rivalry will be very strong, but still a good engaging activity to get people to do outside the game to help promote the game itself. Next up, they actually start showing off all of the new characters themselves. I know I can't play this in full screen because my lack of whitelisting. will most definitely get me copyright claimed. But we will be going over everything we know about the new characters, just to briefly thumb through what they show on the video here. Of course, we got Omega Shenron coming. Goresh was very spot on when they said it would be like a Super versus GT setup, and that seems like what we're getting. So Omega Shenron, we'll go over him. We have the full power blast-based Super Saiyan 4 Goku, who will be another very interesting unit we can look at. Of course, the Rage Trunks from the Goku Black art. Then we're looking at Fusion Zamasu, possibly one of the characters I'm interested in the most out of everything shown so far. And then, of course, at the very end, they show a teaser for Vegito Blue, and they show his legendary finish, but they don't give us any actual information about him like they do about these 4 characters. So I actually have these cards saved with all the details of the characters, so we're actually going to go over them in 1 second as soon as the video finishes. So we have all 4 of those characters to check out, which again is very similar to last year's anniversary, where we had 4 units that are brand new and 1 new LF. But I have a hard time believing they're going to step down from how they one-upped themselves with that Legends Limited Piccolo and Frieza dual step-up format. Like, there's no way this could be like less hype than that. So I'm assuming, and don't shoot me if I'm wrong, don't sue me, but I'm assuming that there is another character that they haven't mentioned yet. From there, we do have the little Vegito Blue teaser, which I will let this play out, just not in full screen, because it's very, very cool looking. We have the super powerful final Kamehameha there with both the blue and the gold effects. An instant transmission into, I can only assume, the legendary finish there, where he punches the bejesus out of Fusion Zamasu. So, of course, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Vegito is here. Kind of interesting. Last year's anniversary was, of course, focused around the original Super Vegito, and now this anniversary is focused around Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan. So might I make a prediction that 3rd year anniversary is going to be based around transforming Super Saiyan to Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue Vegito? That is just my prediction right now, and that very well might change, but I'm just throwing that out, you know, 365 days, Hail Mary, ahead of time, just based off their track record they're establishing so far. So we'll have to check out more with Vegito. Again, they don't give us any information about him whatsoever. They just show off that super, super clean looking legendary finish. That instant transmission into that downwards punch, into that just horrifically powerful looking meteor strike. Almost a little bit similar to the legendary finish of the Vegeta, minus the punch combinations and stuff like that. But just that vertical downwards super powerful punch. Kind of similar, but again, it looks very clean. They also only show off Super Saiyan God Shallot in that last little piece of art and then their wallpaper teaser, but they do not actually cover any information about him whatsoever. So all we had to go on for that was the V-Jump itself. So that was the video itself. Now we are going to go over the 4 characters, then we'll wrap things up. We'll have a nice little analysis of everything they showed off to go along with the hype videos from before. And dang, this Smartimus Prime Vegito Blue looking real pretty, y'all. Alright, so let's jump into the characters real quick, go over them, and then we'll wrap up for the day here. So we do have Omega Shenron. They showed him off first. He's going to be an incredible asset for the GT team. In contrast to the other Sin Shenron we already have, who's very, very defensive with no real serious offenses whatsoever, this one is going to be a damage dealer, dealing both strike and blast damage. Pretty balanced is what it hints at. Increases damage inflicted, reduces damage sustained by being on the field, so offensive and defensive buffs coming from him there. Inflicts multiple status ailments on arts card hit. I'm assuming that's either going to be poison, faint, paralysis, or maybe all 3, just different and random. We'll have to check that out. And increases ally ultimate attack damage on special moves. So when he uses his blue card, it's going to increase everyone on his team's ultimate arts card damage, which is, again, exceptionally good for the Super Saiyan 4s, exceptionally good for Super 17. This character also has an ultimate arts, so basically everyone except for Baby that's relevant on GT will benefit from that buff. However, he is red, so he will conflict a little bit Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. We'll have to see exactly how that plays out. He might be a little bit better in some areas, but I think they'll still go pretty well together provided you don't have the threat of, a lot of blue units that your opponent is bringing. So very interested in this character. His animations, they briefly showed where he summons the giant negative energy ball, and they didn't show too much else. Again, we can go over that more in depth when the units actually drop. Super full power Super Saiyan 4 Son Goku. He's a green type, so he won't really conflict too heavily with anyone on GT. The baby Vegeta's not a huge player on the team, and of course the older Super Saiyan 1 GT Goku, is not. He's good, but this will be a good replacement for him. This character also blast based. And Super 17 is heavily defensive, but does not output too much offenses. So I would say this Super Saiyan 4 Goku here won't have too many conflicts and being very, very relevant on the team. He's main damage source blast attack, so he's a ranged character. When using blast attacks, he gains multiple buffs. Increases defense when paired with other Saiyan characters in the party, ergo Baby and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. Heals when ultimate attack lands. That's pretty nice. Increases the sustain in combat. Balanced and built for a comeback. Alright, well, they don't really show anything too outstanding with him, but I'm sure he'll have that ultimate arts, because it basically says so right here, with that red Kamehameha. So I'll have to look forward to that. Hopefully, he'll have a very nice, fresh set of animations to go along with, like, strike attacks, green cards, stuff like that as well, for the ultimate also. Blue card, maybe a little bit different too, we'll have to see. Next up, we have the Super Saiyan Trunks Rage. Wouldn't this be Super Saiyan 2 Trunks? I'm not sure. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong about that, but maybe Super Saiyan Trunks Teen Rage. Yellow type. For future, that's fine. It doesn't conflict with too much, anything too crazy. You'll have the Yellow Perfect Cell. You'll have the Zenkai Goku Black that he will conflict with or team extremely well with. And then there's one other older unit that now I'm slipping off the top of my head. Future, yellow. Oh, why can I not remember? Either way, this Trunks will fit in nicely onto your future squad. Hybrid Saiyan as well. Vegeta family, Super Saiyan. So they are classifying him as Super Saiyan 1. Might be interesting if Super Saiyan Bardock ever gets a Zenkai, revisiting the Trinity team. Reduce damage sustained when on field and cover cut, so it seems like he will be a defensive unit. Heals with his green card, so he'll be defense and sustain. Reduces character's switch cooldown when opponent activates a Rising Rush. So I'm assuming if they launch their Rising Rush and you had a character on cooldown that would be able to cover swap, but now can't, this Trunks will cut that time and potentially allow you a swap when you otherwise would not have been able to use one. This could be very useful. Increased effectiveness against characters with the tag God Key and Regeneration. This Trunks, or not just this Trunks, but all Trunks seem to be set up to be our primary anti-regeneration character in the game. And of course, because he does kill Fusion Zamasu, eventually they gave him anti-God Key as well, which is very, very interesting. Future might be setting up here to be a good counter to the God Key meta. A truly defensive character with a new sort of power. Again, don't know if he has an ultimate arts yet or not, but not every single one of last year's anniversary characters had an ultimate arts either. Only, Buhan didn't, and that's it, right? Everybody else had an ultimate arts except for Buhan, if I'm not mistaken. Both the God Blues, Vegito, Golden Frieza, only Buhan didn't have an ultimate. So that might be the case for this Trunks here. And I do not believe that this is going to be the actual Sword of Hope, Spirit Bomb Sword, killing of Fusion Zamasu version of this character. I think we're still going to get another version of him, potentially transforming or not. I'm not sure, but we'll have that to look forward to as well. Possibly the most hype of the not Vegito Blue characters, for me anyways, Fusion Zamasu here. God Key, Future, Regeneration, Fused Warrior, Patara, and Powerful Opponent. Okay, for now, all of these, I'm going to assume for their Z abilities, they're going to be focused around the first two tags listed here. So God Key and Future makes sense, with Regeneration and Fusion Warrior being secondary characteristics that his Z ability might not affect. But God Key and Future, pretty much to be expected. Regeneration, a little bit interesting. I'm assuming he's going to be like Baby Vegeta, the green one, where he has the tag, but it's just not ideal on that team build. We'll have to wait and see, but that's what I think it's going to be. Gains multiple buffs as the battle goes on longer. gains multiple buffs after enemy attacks, decreases enemy ki and gains more buffs with his green card. So a lot of buffing here and debuffing, I guess, or at least the ki removal. Pushes the enemy away when cover cutting enemy strike attacks. So he's like the Legends Limited Frieza and plenty of other characters, the old Super Vegito, who will have a cover change, but for red cards only. Shows his true power the longer the battle lasts with his buffs. And of course, Lightning of Absolution. Don't know if that's blue card or ultimate or not, but we'll have to find out. I would assume that that would be like ultimate arts worthy right there. So they may line it up where Trunks is the only unit again without a legendary, or without a ultimate arts on this anniversary. Again, we'll have to wait and see, but everyone else seems to have one so far. And this character art is just beautiful in game. I love the character model. Super cool. Regeneration doesn't really need the purple. Fusion doesn't really need the purple. So for God Ki, he'll conflict with the purple Goku and the purple Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Vegeta. I think he'll fit in nicely as an option there, being it seems much more offensive and much more buff oriented. As well, cover cut for the God Ki team. That is quite nice. I like him. Purple, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with pretty much everything here. Hybrid Saiyan and Super Saiyan. Maybe these won't be the tags that his Z ability will buff, the first two only. I don't know, this will be very curious. We'll have to wait and see. But if he's I would say Vegeta family and hybrids or future would be the main facets of Trunks. Saiyan, Super Saiyan 4, GT, Son family. Probably GT and Son family again in terms of buffing. But it'd be nice if he did some buffs just for generic Saiyans. Shadow Dragon, GT, Regeneration, Absorption, Fusion Warrior, Powerful Opponent. Definitely, I think he'll be buffing Shadow Dragons and GT. Probably not Regeneration, but I'm not sure. But definitely the first two there. I don't know about Fusion either. I think he'll just be an option there. So that's all 4 of the new units covered. Again, we don't know too much about Vegeta Blue. I hope I could provide you something nice to watch, kind of dive in and analyze most of the information that we just got. I'm sure there will be even more content that they have not discussed coming to the game. He mentioned repeatedly in the video that they were somewhat worried there might not be enough time for players to finish everything they have to offer, and they are acting accordingly. So hopefully we'll have longer events, more of them, tons of stuff going on. Of course, let me know down below a couple of different things. I want to know from you guys, what do you think the wishes from the Dragon Balls are going to be this year? What do you think the possible unit that wasn't shown, if there is one, what do you think the possible unit that was not shown that we still might see? And what are your thoughts just overall on the units they provided for us, the events, the potential 12,000 Chrono Crystals, if not more? We'll have to check all that out. But again, let me know your thoughts on everything Dragon Ball Legends 2nd Anniversary down below. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a thumbs up on it. Help spread it out, and more people will be able to check it out on YouTube. Helps feed the algorithm a little bit. Again, be sure to check out the live stream where Goresh, myself, Ryuden, D-Free, Riku, and tons of other people reacted to the first look of this video going live. And if you're new around here, consider subscribing so I can see you again on future videos, and smash that notification bell as well, so you'll be fully aware whenever we have more and new exciting information to talk about. Until the next video, which should be soon, I'll see you guys. Have a great day, and definitely leave a comment down below. Let me know what's on your mind. Peace out.